It appears as though Jimmie Johnson's next NASCAR race will be Circuit of the Americas in a couple of weeks, and let's talk about the winners and losers from the West Coast swing. How's it going, y'all? My name is Eric. Welcome to Out of the Groove. Happy Monday! Before we launch into today's episode, I want to talk to y'all about our sponsor, Bottle Breacher. Bottle Breacher is a company that proudly employs U.S. military veterans, providing them a safe, understanding, and supportive work environment that truly sets them up for success. As the name suggests, Bottle Breacher creates handcrafted bottle openers out of old munitions. Check out what they sent me. Made in America. Look, it's got the Out of the Groove logo. It's got my face! This is heavy duty. Bottle Breacher makes bottle openers out of anything, virtually, and as you can see, you have the ability to customize many of these items. Awesome concept, a really cool product. If you want to support causes for military veterans, local businesses, and American-made products, head to bottlebreacher.com. I'll put the link down in the description as well, and be sure to use code OOTG15 for 15% off your order. Thanks to Bottle Breacher for sponsoring this episode. Be sure to check them out. First up, some breaking news from a little earlier today. Multiple outlets reporting that Jimmie Johnson is listed on the NASCAR roster portal to drive the number 84 car at Circuit of the Americas. That race is in 2 weeks. It's a track Jimmie Johnson has mentioned wanting to race at. Jimmie Johnson, of course, competed in the Daytona 500 a few weeks ago, but had been pretty quiet about what exactly his next NASCAR competition would be. Nothing is confirmed, nothing is official, but it certainly sounds like Jimmie Johnson will participate at Circuit of the Americas, which just adds to an already stacked field. I said this last week before we knew if Jimmie Johnson was going to compete, but Circuit of the Americas has become a marquee race. Not up there with the Daytona 500, probably not even up there with like the Chicago street race, which is just so unique. I think everyone's at least curious. But COTA in a couple weeks is now in the like Bristol dirt territory. F1 champions Kimi Räikkönen and Jenson Button are on the entry list and will be in very competitive equipment. Jordan Taylor, an IMSA champ, is filling in for Chase Elliott in a Hendrick car. And I gotta throw him out there, but Connor Daly from IndyCar is driving for the money team. Big name drivers, some world-class talents, all converging on Austin, Texas to run a NASCAR Cup Series race. Throw 7-time NASCAR champion Jimmie Johnson into the mix as well. COTA is going to be a can't-miss event. I can't wait to be there in person. I am especially looking forward to it now that Jimmie Johnson is expected to compete as well. Now, with Phoenix in the rearview mirror, the West Coast swing is complete. Fontana, California, Las Vegas, Nevada, and Phoenix, Arizona. To me, while the Clash is obviously unique and Daytona is special, it's those 3 races that are true indicators as to which teams are hot to start the season, which teams are ice cold, who's got the speed, who's playing catch up. So I figured today we could look at the last 3 races, the West Coast swing, and sort some drivers into 2 different categories, the winners and the losers. There's no exact science to this game. Let's start with some easy ones. William Byron is obviously a winner. He won 2 of the 3 West Coast swing races. Led the second most number of laps, won 3 stages. In fact, if we just add up the stage points Byron collected at Las Vegas and Phoenix, we get 39 points. That's almost a full extra race worth of points that William Byron has collected in the stages alone. So yeah, easy, William Byron's a winner, and Kyle Busch is a winner. He won the other West Coast race. Dominant win at Auto Club. He struggled a little at Las Vegas, finished 14th, but bounced back with clearly top 10 speed at Phoenix. I thought he came back from both a speeding and uncontrolled tire penalty that happened simultaneously to finish 8th, a solid top 10. So yeah, William Byron, Kyle Busch, they're the obvious winners. The first loser I want to talk about, though, is Joey Logano. I remember back in 2020, Joey Logano won 2 of the 3 West Coast swing races. And then last year, after Phoenix, Joey Logano was leading the points. So expectations are certainly high, but no matter how you slice it, I think the 22 team had kind of a rocky West Coast swing. At Auto Club, he ran up front, led 19 laps, but kind of faded towards the end, still finished 10th. But then everything went wrong at Las Vegas. He sat on the pole, but immediately went backwards. Eventually got wedged into the outside wall, broke a rear toe link, and finished last. Phoenix was sort of a middle ground. He qualified 16th, but fell outside the top 20, actually went a lap down early, but battled back, made some improvements, and got back to 11th. Not bad, but nowhere close to the performance we saw from Logano the last time the Cup Series raced at Phoenix. My next winner is Kevin Harvick. Top 5 at Auto Club, 9th at Las Vegas, and another top 5 at Phoenix. He was the best finishing Stewart-Haas racing driver in all 3 races, and Phoenix, yesterday, on the long run at least, he was the best car in the field. He was the only driver who seemed to have anything for the 2 dominant Hendrick Chevys. Late race caution, bold pitch strategy, and a poor restart cost Kevin Harvick the win yesterday, but he still sits 2nd in the regular season points, just 3 points back from the lead. A far cry from his teammate Eric Almirola, who I have to put in the losers category. He finished 35th at Auto Club after being involved in that unfortunate restart stack-up, but like many of the other Fords, didn't show a lot of speed at Las Vegas, finished 16th. And then yesterday at Phoenix, he was 33rd after right rear tire fell off or broke. We still don't know exactly what happened, but after a promising speed week where Eric Almirola won his dual race at Daytona, led 19 laps in the Daytona 500, it has been pretty much downhill. Now Eric Almirola finds himself 26th in points, wedged right between 2 of his other Stewart-Haas racing teammates. I mentioned Kevin Harvick is only 3 points out of the points lead. The regular season points leader, 4 races in, is Alex Bowman. I believe he is the only driver in the Cup Series to have finished in the top 10 in all 4 races, top 10s all across the West Coast swing. We've talked a lot about Alex Bowman's 2 teammates, Kyle Larson, William Byron, because they've basically run 1-2 the past 2 races, but Alex Bowman has been consistent. The team so far has executed beautifully. They have not made mistakes. They've had good speed, maybe not great, but that's why Alex Bowman is your points leader. It's scary because, like I just said, there is still room to improve in the speed category. Bowman may be leading the points, but both Kyle Larson and William Byron, his teammates, have outran him the last 2 weeks. Like even Las Vegas, where I know they all finished 1, 2, 3, Bowman was 3. And he only led 2 laps, while Byron and Larson combined to lead 239. So, if Alex Bowman, Blake Harris, can find that kind of speed, watch out. Because they're not making mistakes, they're very consistent. If they start leading laps like the 5 and the 24, watch out. Speed isn't everything in NASCAR though. Sometimes it's situational, strategy, consistency, communication, a little bit of luck. I wasn't sure which category to put Kyle Larson in. I almost put him in the winners category because he's had top 2 speed the last 2 races, back-to-back top 5 finishes. He's led a ton of laps. But at the same time, they did have that electrical issue at Auto Club that caused him to finish 29th. And then while he's been really fast and had great finishes the last 2 weeks, there's still a bad taste in your mouth, I imagine, if you're a Kyle Larson fan, because he probably should have won the last 2 races instead of his teammate. Go back to Las Vegas, Kyle Larson was in control of that race. You get a late race yellow, pit stops, and William Byron's team gets him out ahead. Just got beat on pit road, straight up. Byron was the control car on the restart, and he got the win. Similar situation at Phoenix, although this time, Larson's team was able to beat William Byron's and get him out front so he could control the final restart. But it didn't end up mattering because William Byron got that 24 car to stick around the outside, and William Byron was able to beat Kyle Larson one-on-one despite Larson being the more dominant car all day. So you could look at the fact that Larson's had winning speed the past 2 races, and honestly he might have had winning speed at Auto Club too if he doesn't have that issue, and say he's a winner. He should be on the winners list, but I don't know. I have a bad taste in my mouth. He should have 2 trophies, 2 wins, 10 playoff points at least, and he does not. His teammate does instead. So great speed, but he's lost 2 races in a row. 2 races that I believe he should have won if the team in one case and the driver perhaps in the other had executed better in crunch time. The last driver I want to talk about, I'm going to add one more to the winners list, Brad Keselowski. And I know the finishes don't look great. 7th at Auto Club, okay. 17th at Las Vegas, 18th at Phoenix. But I'm telling y'all, for the first time in a long, long time, Brad Keselowski has legitimate top 10 speed week in, week out. In fact, at Phoenix yesterday, he was a top 5 car for much of the race. We have to remember that last year, all season, Keselowski had 6 top 10s, but like 5 of them came in the second half of the season. So the team clearly improved later in the year, and they've carried some of that momentum, some of that performance into the start of 2023. For the first time in a couple of years, Brad Keselowski's racing with the leaders, he's collecting stage points, and even though he hasn't gotten the finishes I believe he's deserved the past couple of weeks, Keselowski still sits solidly in 13th in the regular season standings, one position ahead of his RFK teammate Chris Buescher. Not a bad start to the season. Again, every driver has different expectations. Kyle Larson, we expect him to win 5-6 races a year, contend for the championship. Brad Keselowski, with RFK, we just hope he sneaks into the playoffs. So there are different expectations. I factor those in when sorting these drivers into my list. Let me know down in the comment section below. How do you feel about my Kyle Larson analysis, my Brad Keselowski take? Any of the other drivers I talked about, I want to hear your thoughts down in the comment section below. If you enjoyed this video, please leave it a like. If you're new to the channel and you love NASCAR, be sure to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any upcoming episodes or news. And thank you as always to my Patreon supporters for your continued support. I will see you again very, very soon. Thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful start to your week.